What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? JDaisy here with the JDaisy Gaming Channel. I really need to come up with a different intro. I started that and it just need to really definitely come up with something different. That's we've been doing it too long. Anywho, we'll make this video short. This is a video game that has been out for quite a while. The game is Turmoil. Turmoil? Turmoil. We're gonna go with Turmoil. It is a resource management and kind of building game. It's on Steam for about $9.99 right now. They do have a soundtrack that is free. I picked it up during the Steam summer sale that was going on. It came out in 2016, so we're a little behind the 8 ball here. But this is still a pretty solid game. You might have seen some people play it. It's a pretty solid, like streaming game, you could call it. And it's a really simple, basic game. So pretty much the premise is you dig in the ground, this geometric ground. You find oil, you pump it up, and you either sell it to left or you sell it to right ink for money. More money you get, the more upgrades you can get. You store it to get a better price, and along the way you have to deal with things like rocks. You're trying to find diamonds. You have to deal with spillage fees because the EPA hates us, and all sorts of stuff. It's a really solid little management game. Between every like stage, you could call it, that's what we'll call stages, where you're actually digging in the ground. You go back to this town that gets built up right away in the first couple like missions or go around, and that's where you can buy your different upgrades. You know, make the pipes bigger, make the storage tanks bigger, make your horses go faster, buy more horses, stuff like that. So you go back to this little vestibule town thing. You buy your upgrades, and you go to a land auction, and there's 4 different districts, and you only focus on one district at a time. I'm on the 2nd district now in my own personal playthrough. And what you do is you go and you bid. And when you first get to a district, it's pretty laid back. Everyone just picks a spot. You're playing against 3 other AIs, so 4 of you in total. And you pick a spot, and you bid on it, and it starts at $2,000. And the first time it means nothing. You go, you dig, you come back. The next land auction, it will become more heated, because it'll show and tell you how much oil was in that specific plot. So as you pick better plots, it will cause competition to come. The price of that plot will go up more. Spend more money and all that stuff. And then once you get into the actual level itself, after you buy all your upgrades, you only go into each level with $2,000. So, you know, if you have $50,000 in the bank, you only start with, it'll only cost you $4,000 each turn to get started if you buy a plot that no one wants, and if the $2,000 start each level. And you can get loans and there are different interest loans and stuff, and I haven't had to mess with that at all. And then you start in the level, and you either hire a dozer, or later in the game you can get moles that search a specific area, or you just get a sonar that searches a really specific area. And you lay down pumps, and you take the pipe down, and you pump the oil up, and you get horses to carry said oil to either a silo, where you hold on to it till you get a better price, which I do quite a bit. I don't sell anything for less than $1, because that's a really good price. Or B, you sell it to either left ink, or C, you sell it to right ink. And those are just 2 competing companies that you have the option of selling to. Pretty much just makes it so that it's really hard to get both those prices down to something that you can't turn profit. And you are playing against a clock. There's a year calendar. When you first start off the game, it's only like 3 months, but very quickly, like I said, with the town, it will become like a full year that you get to play for. So as you do that, the oil becomes more scarce. You get better technology. You have to deal with things like rocks now. You have to get drills that can bury through the rocks, or you end up having to go all the way around a big rock in the ground. And until you can, it's sometimes frustrating because you can't see the ground. You only see the ground where your pipe is going, or unless you get a sonar. The dowsers, which are people with just fancy sticks that walk around, they just tell you like a general area of where an oil pocket will be. And it's kind of a race against the clock every year, because you don't want to be left with oil either in a tank or in the ground, and you're trying to pump out as much oil as you can. And if you do end the level early, you get some money back, but it's hardly ever worth it, so you might as well just pump out as much as you can. But the more important thing is you don't want to get stuck with a bunch of oil in your pipes, or a bunch of oil in your silos and stuff. So it's a race of trying to balance making your time worth it, and B, trying to pump out as much oil as possible. I have yet to go through a level where I pumped out every drop of oil. I've gotten close once or twice, but I haven't done that yet. Like I said, I'm only on the second quote unquote stage. I'm in the desert area. Then there's a winter and I think a mountains one. And I assume as you get further on, you get better upgrades and more upgrades and stuff like that. It's a really solid little game for $10. You're getting quite a. I've picked it up a bunch of times this week. Just get bored, waste away 15 minutes playing it. It can get kind of hectic towards the end of the month where you're trying to get a better price and the price just isn't coming up. So you're holding on to this oil and you're trying to decide what to do. Um, and it's like I said, for $10, it's really solid. If you're trying, if you're more on the cheaper side and you really want to get your bang for your buck, maybe wait for a summer sale or something like that to really pick it up if you're not in any hurry for a good management game. But if you're like me and you really like management games and simulation games, this will probably be something you might want to put on your radar, take a look at. Yeah, like I said, we're going to keep this one fairly short because it is kind of an older game. The game is Turmoil. It's on Steam. As always, we're all in this one together. See you in the next one.